Song. My name is Adri. I'm a singer-songwriter from the west coast of BC, Canada, Turtle Island. Welcome to the show. This podcast is for anybody who's in the music industry, anyone who's interested in a good story, and any aspiring singer-songwriters, performers, producers, engineers. If you are looking to get inspired, please tune in to the episodes. We are on season 2 now, so make sure to loop back to season 1. There's a lot of good combos in that one as well. And make sure to like and subscribe. We are on YouTube and Spotify. That helps this channel get out to a larger audience and helps us out, obviously, in all the ways. So please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you're really enjoying one of the episodes, please leave a review or a comment. It all is very much appreciated. On this week's episode, we have Scott Archibald. He is a Canadian-based musician, composer, singer, songwriter. We caught up with him to talk about his debut album, Soul Caravan. We're going to post all the links for you guys to listen to it in the show description below. So please make sure to go and listen to this amazing piece of work. It's his debut album, you guys. It's just so unique, so original, really cool stories behind how he has crafted up these sounds. He even lets us into his production process and how he puts these compositions together. And the players on this album it's literally a stacked lineup. So you guys are not going to want to miss out on this conversation. I know you're going to get something out of it. So enjoy. Okay. Hello, Scott. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. It is so nice to see you and have you on because you have this amazing album that you've put out. But also you and I go back.
Yeah.
You were the bassist in my previous project, Mudfunk, here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And we just had some good times in that band, and
absolutely
shared some pretty cool moments. And
yes,
I remember you were completing your degree at GCC while you were playing in our band. So that's how you and I know each other. And you know, before I hit record, we were just kind of reminiscing about some of the moments we had, you know, before and after shows. And yeah, I didn't realize that there was, I mean, what you mentioned about the camaraderie and the togetherness. Like, Mudfunk was really the only band that, like, that was my first, like, official band. So, like, I didn't really have any other reference to what it was like to be in a band. But I mean, you had obviously been in several projects previous to Mudfunk, so quite
a few. Yeah.
So why don't you share, like, what you were just saying, like how that was different from some of the other projects you had been in at that time? And
well, I mean, it's a different experience being, like, kind of a hired gun. I've done, like, the hired gun stuff where I was just a side person,
right,
bass player,
right,
and I had really no say in the direction of the band or the music or anything. They just would send me tunes and I would learn them and show up to the gig. We'd have a rehearsal and show up to the gig, and I did lots of stuff like that. Definitely some both positive and negative experiences there. And there's always, in a way, in some ways it's easier because then you don't have to think as much, or, like, collaborative situations can be difficult in their own way, but just going in and playing someone else's music, it makes things less complicated sometimes, where you just know what's going on. It's really straight ahead gig. You get paid and then you go home, but it's not as collaborative and there isn't the camaraderie there, you know, that there is with like something. Well, I considered Mudfunk to be like kind of a collective, you know. It was like it was just a very collectivist in its, you know, in the attitude. Like no one, I feel like it was the first band that I played in where really people really tried not to step on each other's toes. Like it was really, like, you know, that's what I noticed anyway.
Okay.
But it could be like before I joined the band. I don't know what happened before I joined the band, but when I was in the band, I really felt that it was very cooperative. You know, it was also a mix of male, female. You know, like it was a mixed band.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is really great. It kind of reminded me of like Sly and the Family Stone or something like that. You know, like back in the day, right? Like, you know, like mixed race, mixed gender bands. Yeah. I really like that. I really like that about Mudfunk, and it was just like everybody coming together from different ages and backgrounds and doing something together, creating something together. I love that, you know, and it's kind of rare.
Yeah, I mean, I love that you're speaking on it a little bit, because for me, I think I always have a tendency to look back on things with more of a critical eye, and so, you know, when I look back, I'm like, oh, like I have a lot of feelings or opinions about certain things or how I could have done things differently. But I'm glad that you felt that way in the band, and that you did kind of see us, that it was the feeling of cooperation and of respect. And I mean, yeah, I think we did try our hardest to do that in the band, and maybe I just need to kind of look at more of the positive things that were happening. So thanks for bringing that up.
Sure. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, right? There's always going to be conflicts in any relationship.
And there was, you know.
But yeah, for sure. But, you know,
and I can't even remember, like, did we just let you write all of your own bass parts? Like, I don't even remember, like, what, I mean, there was so many people in the damn band. It was hard to, like, keep track of what everyone was doing.
Right.
And like, I think bass parts for me, like, maybe probably Will and Chris were probably way more, you know, in tune with what you were doing. But, like, did we just give you like free reign to write your own parts for all the songs, or like how did that?
We wrote some tunes together, definitely, where you and Will would write the guitar, like, you know, you would write together, and he would write, you know, he'd be playing guitar and you'd be singing. I think that's how a lot of this, when I was in the band, a lot of the stuff came about, and then Stefan had a couple of songs as well. And yeah, I just kind of came up with my own bass parts, really. I mean, sometimes Chris would be like, oh, maybe don't play so much here. I tend to be kind of a busy bass player sometimes. And so being in a bigger band, that kind of made me play simpler. When you're playing in a smaller trio, like I played in a couple of trio bands where you have to be busier to take up the space, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I played in a progressive rock trio for a long time called the Matic Sanctuary, and those guys are still my buddies. I still talk to them, but it was, you know, it wasn't as, there were definitely some conflicts within the band and other bands I played in as well, where it was just, you know, all male and kind of toxic at times, you know, just, you know, just cutting each other down. And it was just kind of, you know, that was when we were in our 20s though, and we were just young and kind of stupid, and
you're just figuring things out and social skills, you know.
and then there were, like, I played in a cover band as well, where we toured around Western Canada. We go to Saskatchewan, Alberta, Alaska. We played casinos in Alberta and Saskatchewan, and then we had a regular gig in Anchorage, Alaska, and we would do 5 weeks at a time like 3-4 sets a night, 5 days a week in Anchorage. So we'd go up. I did 3 trips up there, and we'd stay at this band house next to right next to the bar almost. and so it was like we do these 5-week contracts where we would stay up there, and that could get intense. And that was the most money I've ever made playing live.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a gauntlet. That sounds like...
And that was tough after a while. Like the interpersonal dynamics after a while were really challenging. Again, it was all guys. Oh. I feel like adding some feminine energy into a band kind of chills things out a bit,
Right, okay.
And things can get a little bit aggro when it's a bunch of dudes. That's what I'm talking about, right?
I appreciate that. I think the world needs a little bit more feminine energy, and
I wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I appreciate that you have that viewpoint, and I appreciate you talking about feminine energy in that way. That's great. I'll welcome that anytime. So that's cool. That's cool. Okay, well, right on. Like, it was a special time, and I was so grateful to have you in the project at that time, and it fit.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. We played a lot of good gigs.
Yeah, we did. We did, and it was a really special. Like, even though I do kind of look back, like I have like cringe moments when I look back, but I'm like, it was a really special group in where like I could explore myself as a songwriter. Like, I don't think I really appreciated that and really saw that till after, like, just recently reflecting on how safe it was for me to just write whatever I wanted in the band, and to just put these ideas forward lyrically, and just no one really like questioned me on it. It was just like, you're in charge of the words, so go for it, and I exactly don't recall anyone ever challenging me on lyrics or making me feel insecure about what I was doing. It was just like, no, like you're doing great, and that's your role. And it just had that kind of like, everyone had their role, and it had that kind of community vibe, I guess, which was pretty special. So anyways,
absolutely.
Moving on from that, you have this album which I've been listening to, and like, holy shit, dude, like, this album is so well done. Like, the quality of the recording and like the compositions are so good, and you have like a stacked roster of musicians that played on this. Like, like, you have some people that played with Robert Plant and Massive Attack. Like, did I read that right? Okay, that's amazing. Good for you. And this is your debut album.
Yeah, I released a couple of EPs before that.
Okay.
Like, I have... Okay, well, so basically during the pandemic, I had all these compositions that I needed to record, get down, and some of it I recorded previous with this drummer named Sam Cartwright, who lives in Vancouver. I had a studio for a while with one of my ex-bandmates from Nomadic Sanctuary, Wayne, and we recorded some drums there. It was just sitting on a hard drive. I ended up producing that. So my first EP is called Garage Funk, which is like kind of like jazz rock, kind of experimental. And then
is that
my second
online?
It's all on Bandcamp and Spot, and that's actually not on any major streaming service. That's just on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. That first one. Okay. But the second EP I put out, called Scenes from the Anthropocene, is like even more weird and experimental and kind of all over the place stylistically I don't even know how to label it. It's like it's like everything from like new music, like neo experimental classical to prog to jazz to world everything. It's a little bit too weird. I don't even know if it's listenable. But I was sort of like going through a dark time during the pandemic, and I think it kind of reflects that. And then when I got to Montreal, I had a couple of more jazz style tunes that I recorded with some guys here, and that was the second, and that was my third EP. And then I recorded a fourth EP, but I ended up that was more like a demo for this album. So there's a couple of songs on there that I remixed for this album, and I ended up just deleting most of that EP. Okay. So sorry if that's long-winded or complicated, but so yeah, it's basically taken me, if you include those songs, it's basically taken me 3 years to make this album.
Right. But it is your debut album. It's your first album that you're...
Yeah, full-length album, yes.
Yeah. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's called The ID Project. Why don't we start...
No, the ID Project.
The
ID Project.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about... I'm very curious about that name.
Well, the id is opposite of ego. It's kind of like a Freudian term.
Oh.
Your id, like your primal things before you develop your ego. Like when you're born, you just have an id, and then you become conditioned by the world around you, and you develop an ego.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So that's what it means.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many people understand that, and I question that, but it's always what I've called my solo projects. I didn't want to call it by my own name, so I just called it that.
I love that. Well, you know, that's so funny because I wrote this question down, like, what does id project mean? And then the word that I wrote right underneath it was humility. I didn't know why that word came forward, but like now that you've explained what this what that means, that kind of like ties in a little bit, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
So
well, that's cool. It's sort, because I see it as more of like a thing that's beyond myself.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, it's just, I'm the catalyst for it, maybe.
Yeah.
And these other musicians that are playing on not just this album, but my other EPs as well, also really contribute. I feel like the drum parts on all that music and everything is just, it equally contributes. You know, it's just like they are like parts within themselves. They're signature parts, you know. Mm-hmm. There's some stuff on my latest album where the percussionist is doing some stuff, and that's very, very signature to me. You know, he's not just jamming out some thing; he's creating these really signature parts.
Okay, well, what does that help me understand what signature means? Like,
well, like it just, I feel like it's very like individualistic. Like it's his style. Like he's a British guy who plays Arabic music and has studied Arabic percussion.
Okay.
For a long time, and he's developed his own style. And I feel like that sound couldn't have been created. Like if I hadn't worked with him, that album wouldn't have that sound.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I mean? So he's
okay.
Yeah. So like, you know, like certain bands like Primus, for example, they're a very unique sounding original band. And I've always liked bands like that where you can't really classify exactly what they're doing, or you can't label it. And when you listen to the drums and you listen to the guitar and you listen to the bass, they all have the very signature sound, all three of them, like a very individual sound.
Yes.
And that's sort of what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did see some text. I don't remember where I read it, that it was kind of, you've described it as like trance music.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, I kind of felt that, like, when I was listening to it. Like, I was listening to it, and then it, like, shut off. I, like, accidentally closed out the window, and I just felt this, like, like, I just was like, whoa, like, there's like some magic in that music. Like it is somewhat trance-like. When you're locked into it. And so you composed, because you went to school for, that was your major, right? Was composition?
Yeah.
So you composed all of these pieces then.
Well, some of the stuff was, I would say, again, back to my friend Simon, who's a percussionist.
Yep.
Who's a British guy. He was born in the UK, and he's living in France now. Some of those I consider collaborations, because he sent me, and I can show you an example of this. He would send me loops, and I would compose to his loops.
Oh.
So some of the music on there is that.
Oh.
So I consider his drum parts part of the composition. He's not just supporting me. He's like creating these really unique parts.
Okay.
Which inspired me to really kind of step out of my comfort zone for a bit. Or just superimpose like Western idioms onto Arabic percussion, which creates an original sound.
Right.
And his wife Mouna, who's Moroccan, sings on some of that. I don't know if you heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that last half of the album is a lot of her vocals. And she is a Sufi singer, and Sufi music is trance music. It's like North African trance music.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
That energy is kind of in there. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real spiritual kind of like really ethereal.
Yeah, it's like a journey.
Trance music is meant to heal people, to put people into a trance, to take them outside of their own bodies, where they contort and do crazy stuff. Apparently, I've never seen this, but apparently that happens in Morocco, where they create these, and they just jam all night, and they get really stoned on hash, and people just go into these crazy trances and just completely go outside of their own bodies. I've never personally witnessed this, but apparently that happens.
Okay. Crazy.
And it's nothing new to be mixed with Western music, because Paul McCartney experimented with this. The Rolling Stones, like Brian Jones from the Rolling Stones, experimented with stuff. They were going to Morocco in the 60s and exploring this trance music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, I was listening to the album, I'm wondering, like, how did he dream up these compositions? Like, how did you kind of come up with stuff? Like, did you write bass parts? Or, I mean, obviously it's always a collaboration, but there's like a nucleus.
Yeah.
There's an idea first, right? So was that always, did you hear things like entire compositions in your head, or did you kind of know that you just wanted certain sounds and then got people to, like, how did that all come together for you?
Some of it was instinctual, some of it was planned out beforehand, some of it was inspired by like just some like percussion loop that Simon would send me, because we were just talking online about how to get together and collaborate, and he would just send me, he's like, here, check out this percussion lip, maybe this would help inspire something. And so that was one method and then I would just have my guitar, I would put it in my DAW, and I would just play along with my guitar, and I would tune, there's a couple of tunes on there, they're like open G tuning of the guitar. Like, I like using open tunings on the guitar.
Oh, Okay.
So, which is quite common and it fits the tuning of like North African music and West African music also.
Okay.
So I was sort of conscious of that.
Right.
But it was more like just coming up with stuff on the fly. I didn't write anything down for that album. It wasn't... I'm not sure how much my composition degree played a role in that. Maybe in the arranging part.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, but not any jazz or classical training, really. Or maybe it did subconsciously. You know, you just...
Of course.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
I think all of my musical experience, just being a professional bass player, playing different styles, studying a bit of music outside of North America, Western idioms, you know, all helped, I would say. Yeah. So let me show you an example of a Logic session that I did, and let's see if it comes through the speakers.
Sure.
I set this up beforehand. Hopefully it works. Here.
Okay.
I'll just share it with you. Okay. Okay. So, do you remember when I released that single Floating with me singing on it?
Yes.
So this is the demo.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And plays. Do you hear that?
I do.
Okay. So this is not this tune is like something I completely came up with without any of Simon's percussion loops. Simon on the final recording, Simon is playing drum kit. But I'm doing all the percussion and everything. So I'll just break this down just as an example of my process.
Sure.
And often I rely on a digital audio workstation to compose. It really does help.
Yes. Okay, great. Awesome.
Here we go.
This is great.
So I'll just solo the guitar part. That's like a guitar part I came up with just playing it through a delay pedal. There's the bass. Beatbox. That's just me beatboxing.
Okay, love it.
Tongue clicks. And that's called a kanjira. Hang on a sec. So I think, as far as I remember, I think the first thing that I came up with for the song was the kanjira thing. So I think I was just playing around with that.
Nice.
I was recording it into my loop pedal, and I'm like, I want to do a kind of like a Moroccan 6/4 rhythm.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what I started with.
Okay. So
I started from basically the riff and how I compose, and then I came up with the beatbox thing, and
that's forming.
Synthesizer there. My little Kala-U bass, like a ukulele bass with rubber strings.
Oh, nice. Oh, cool.
Streets of London, see the dark clouds forming as the lightning strikes down on the Thames.
There's the end part. New bass line.
Have you done something to the Kanjira part in this? It sounds different.
Oh yeah, I think I just added like some EQ and reverb onto it.
Okay.
Like when I'm playing it just in the room here, it doesn't, you're probably.
Yeah.
But obviously I EQ'd it and added some,
Okay.
added something to it, yeah.
Nice.
Because I had to, it's just a cheap Kanjira, right?
Okay.
Kanjira is actually, it's a South Indian tambourine, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, Carnatic.
I love the sound. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's cool. So anyway, that's just kind of an example of my writing process.
Yeah, well, and I mean, for this, it seems like for this song in particular, and it sounds like from what you're saying is that it was kind of different process for each song, but this one, you've come up with most of the parts, like you wrote the guitar parts, bass parts, like So this one, you must have just presented to everybody and just said this is a song, and then everyone just kind of added in their parts on it.
Well, it's all, I kept all of these tracks are on the final recording. The only thing that was added was my vocals and drum kit.
Oh, okay.
So it's just me and the drummer. And then the producer, because I'm not a very experienced vocalist in terms of recording in the studio, he was really helping me with my vocals, and we would go verse by verse, and it was something that I actually wanted someone else to sing on, because I'm not like you. I'm not a front person.
Yeah.
I don't consider myself a singer-songwriter. I consider myself more a composer.
Yeah.
I guess I am a singer-songwriter now, though. I mean, you
are. You 100% are. Honestly, I think that's the one thing that took me, and I know I shared that with you when you and I first connected, that I was like, holy moly, you've had this voice this entire time, and we had no idea. Because you as you say, like when you're in mud funk, like you are the kind of more like strong silent type, and just kind of more introverted. And so when I heard you singing and how like powerful that was, like I was like, that voice was in him the entire time. Like, I can't believe it, So I'm glad that somebody, and because I mean, it's funny how things work out that way sometimes, how, you wanted someone else to do it, but I think it's like you were supposed to sing on that song. Like,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because like you couldn't find anyone, right? Like, or what happened? Like, what was kind of the story around how you kind of got forced? Did you kind of get forced into doing it, or you just couldn't find someone? Or
well, Steve, the producer, is actually a really good singer, and I thought about him singing on it. And originally, I thought, hey, let's collaborate on some lyrics to this song. And that never ended up happening. And then we got in the studio, and he's like, hey, I like your voice. Let's work with it. Let's just work with it. Yeah. And originally I wanted a singer for the live portion of this album, which is at the beginning of the album, which is with those players, which is in the video. I don't know if you've seen the YouTube video.
Yes.
So that was just a portion of the album. Most of the album is just me and Simon, and sometimes Mouna, his wife, and Steve, mixing and producing it and co-producing it.
Okay.
So originally I wanted a singer for the live sessions. I was asking Steve, hey, do you know any singers, like eclectic singers around your area who could maybe come in and work with us? And he's like, I'll see, but then he ended up never finding anybody. So anyways,
it just was meant. It, like, I mean, that's a sign of someone who's there to be. It's a sign of a good producer who can just say like, I don't need to sing on this. Actually, your voice fits like, because at the end of the day, it's what sounds the best and what works best for the piece of music, and
Yeah.
and I'm glad that you had someone there to encourage you to just kind of step out of your comfort zone and
For sure.
do that, because I mean, yeah, like your voice is really nice, and
Thank you.
yeah, I hope you keep doing that.
Thanks. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how to do it live and like how am I going to do this without a band? It's expensive to put together a band
Yeah.
and then have a band do justice to all these parts.
Right.
And it's such a complicated thing. You have to find the right musicians.
Right.
They might have to have a bit of schooling in like eclectic styles of music, and that's just so hard to do. And often those musicians are professionals and they're really busy and expensive. So it's like, and then they're not even necessarily going to be into the project, and that's what I'm battling right now. Is like, okay, I've given myself a whole other challenge.
Yes.
Is how am I going to present this live?
Yes.
And
Yes.
now that I've made this album, I've kind of created this monster. It's like, okay, how am I going to translate it live? So I've been working with my loop pedals a bit and reimagining some of the songs. It's like,
Right.
I realize I don't have to play them like the album.
Mm-hmm.
I can do different versions of them. I can do them in a different key if I want to. And I just feel like that's my arranging instincts and skills coming in, where
Yes.
I can sort of like reimagine it for like a solo thing, and when the right time comes, I'll be ready to have a band come in around me, and the right people will come,
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's going to take a bit of time, and so that's been something I've been racking my brain over as well. I'll just show you quickly another piece,
Sure.
another demo. So here's Modern Man, which is the second song in the album, which I did live with those cats, with all those guys.
Yep.
And so here's how I demoed it, and okay, so here's example of Simon sending me a percussion loop.
Okay.
Which is kind of like a signature part in itself. It turned out differently live, but so he's playing a bit of drum kit there, and he's playing these Moroccan castanets called the krakebs,
Okay.
and it's kind of got like a off kilter sort of feel,
Yep.
And anyway, this is the demo. So it's a guitar part. I used a vocoder there with my vocals. And that's kind of like a spoken word sort of thing. I felt like that suited the song, but the way I'm trying to reimagine it for solo is more melodic, actually. And I'm going to do a totally different version of it for a solo acoustic thing.
Okay. Nice.
And so here's like I'll just pull up the video.
And so you're playing these guitar parts.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that you were so proficient at guitar as well.
Yeah, I've been playing guitar for forever.
Oh, really?
I just never practiced guitar really. I'm not a professional guitar player. I just play in the studio and I use it to write music. So I write quite a bit of music on guitar. I've written quite a bit of like acoustic music that I haven't released yet on guitar as well. Like it's just another side to my musicianship. So
was it your first instrument or which was your first instrument?
Guitar, actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, it was piano. So anyway, here's the final version of Modern Man, just so you hear the difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of different, more driving beat. Obviously, drummer and percussionist.
Don't understand the limits of modern man. Why don't we just take a stand and fight for our land? Subdivide and simplify the barrier in between you and me.
So yeah, won't spend too much time on that, but that's just an example of how it was interpreted, like how the other musicians interpreted my demo.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it sounds killer. I love that rhythm. That is just so cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It was like so much fun playing with those guys, and it just felt like a band, really.
Yeah.
Just for that short period of time, you know?
Right.
I wish it could be a band all the time, but like, you know,
well, because you went to the Real World Studios, right? And so is this kind of when you collaborated with them all, or did this come like afterwards?
The Real World Studios Producers Camp is where I met these guys, not Simon. Okay. Simon I met previously to that. Yeah, it's sort of like, I met these guys. So the Real World Producers Camp is a camp that you sign up for. It's like a master class type of thing, but it's very collaborative, and it's a 3-day camp at Real World Studios, Peter Gabriel's studio, in close to Bath, England, in West England.
Okay.
And it's an amazing, I don't know if you've seen pictures of it, but it's a frigging incredible studio. And I've always dreamed of going there. Okay. Like for such a long time, because I'm a big Peter Gabriel fan, and that's not the only reason. It was just, I remember just seeing pictures of his studio online and videos of him recording there, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need to go visit that studio. And I just wanted to go visit it.
Right.
I didn't think I'd end up in a producer's camp there and meeting these musicians and then collaborating with them, you know. So it's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
So did you just apply? Did you see an application for this producers camp and then you just applied and you got in? Like, how did that?
Yeah, well, it cost me money, but yeah. Like you apply and you can get a slot in there, and you give you a little bit of your background, and you fill out a form, and then
okay.
And then they try to pair you with somebody who's maybe has a similar, who you might click with, has a similar musical background.
Yeah. And
then all these other guys are around to help you. Like Justin and John Baggott, Justin and John who have done quite a bit of stuff, and like they're pretty prominent UK musicians, and they played in quite a few bands. Like John's the keyboard players played with Massive Attack, Portishead, and Justin's, and both of them have played at one point in Robert Plant's band, The Strange Sensation, and Justin has done quite a bit of stuff in the world music scene in the UK and in North Africa, and He's worked with Tinariwen, that desert rock band. They're kind of like a desert nomad rock band. And if you listen to some of like the Blue Door, which is one of my tunes on there, you can hear that some of those influences. You know, it's like the desert blues kind of rock guitar stuff. Yeah. And so I feel like that's where a lot of this album comes from. I mean, it's just like the sum of all parts. I'm the catalyst for it, and I was lucky enough to attend that camp. And then I met Steve, who was one of the producers on hand at that camp, you know, helping everybody who's part of the camp. Mm-hmm. And part of the camp is just like, you have to create one song within 3 days, fully produced, like from scratch. So it's really intense, like 12-hour days. And then you have all these professional musicians from the UK and producers around to kind of help you, and you learn from them and you can collaborate with them. And so from there, I was talking with Steve, and he's like, yeah, I'm just starting my own studio close to here. He lives very close to Real World, and in this town that no one's ever heard of called Melksham, which is one of the many little towns around there, townships around there, or whatever you want to call it. And so we kind of like worked out a deal, and we were talking online, and I was sending him demos back and forth, and we just sort of worked out a deal. He's like, hey, do you want to film there as well? I'm like, yeah. Well, when we just worked out, I would have loved to have these guys on the whole album, but that would have been cost way too much. So I decided to I made this decision just to have these guys on the video part of it, right? And then we would do most of the album remotely, mix it and record remotely. So it was done in a few different ways. That's sort of a long story short. It's kind of a long-winded story as to how that came about. But yeah, it kind of started with, well, first of all, me connecting with Simon, and then going to Real World and connecting with all these other guys. Right. And they're all very busy professionals in their own right. And that's why I say I don't know if I would love to be able to continue that, but that is logistically and financially very difficult unless I get signed to a major label or something, and they, or something happens and something to that effect.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and I still feel like, you're still putting this music out there. I mean, people are still discovering it, I'm sure, and we just need to make sure that people keep discovering it, and and that you keep this album alive in whatever way possible, because it's just such a beautiful piece of work, and I could just see it in like theaters and like theater settings and exactly, festivals. Like, it's just so cool. Like, exactly,
it's kind of cinematic, some of it, I've imagined a live show having visuals, for sure, as a backdrop, like it's quite, I feel like it's perfect for the festival setting, like Glastonbury or something, or even the jazz festival. It could even fit in a jazz festival, because there's so much different music at the jazz festival,
100%.
And definitely like a theater, or kind of like non-typical kind of venue, like arts type of venue, not like a bar, like a something outside of that nightclub world,
No, I do not see this at a bar or a pub. Like, absolutely not. Like, I mean,
and that's why I know.
But it's just like too high quality, and I mean, not to say that bars and pubs don't have high quality music.
Well, sure, you can go see an awesome band at like an awesome jazz band at a small bar or R&B band.
Yeah.
But like it's more like that this music has so many layers to it that it would be difficult to present it in that setting. It would be
I think so.
Technically and logistically very difficult.
Yeah. Well, have you considered like submitting applications for festivals and then just like hiring musicians? Like, because I'm sure you could apply to like the jazz festival here in Vancouver or even in Montreal, and then you get the gig and then just hire the musicians.
Then I would get like a grant for that festival, that type of thing. I would apply for a grant. That's kind of how it works. It's a lot of the grants are really tied into the festivals, where it's like if the festival can't pay you, then you apply for a grant and you get paid that way through the grant, or the festival pays you, or maybe a combination of both.
Right.
So I think that's how it would work. Hopefully these festivals would pay me enough money so at least I can I can cover the costs. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, you would negotiate based upon what you would need to pay everyone, right? And
exactly.
And even in Vancouver, I think Vancouver, I know it's like far away, and I'm sure that you want to like, put this out there in on your home grounds, but you also have a pretty big network here in Vancouver that you could probably pull on a lot of your contacts to come and play on this project. So
yes,
it could very well happen in that sense.
Yes.
But aside from that, I was, after I was reading, your blog post there, like you did a lot of traveling, like while this album, like some of these songs were being written, and is that kind of what influenced, like, I mean, you're into world music as it is, so like that was just already kind of baked in, but like did all of your experiences traveling like shape the sound of this album?
Totally.
Yeah.
100%.
And how long were you traveling for? Like was this while you were writing the songs, or was it like I went traveling and then I wrote the album? Or like from what it sounds like is some of these songs were written beforehand, some of them were not, so it's kind of like a mishmash of different periods of your life, or?
I would say that. Well, I mean, I didn't really do international travel till I was into my early 30s because I had a job at that time and I had some money to go, and I ended up going to taking an unpaid leave from my job and going to, because I'd worked there a long time, so I ended up going to Southeast Asia for a little while. I saved some money and I went there, and I feel like that was kind of the start of it, and I was sort of influenced by some of the music that I heard over there, like Cambodian music and Thai music and some of their traditional stuff, and just the whole vibe, like the Buddhist temples and the music coming out of there. I feel like it just subconsciously seeped into my
100%.
And because there's so many amazing sounds when you go to one of those places, it's just so noisy. It's so quiet here compared to one of those places where it's so populated and you have just such a rich religious, like places like Cambodia and Thai, and I was in Myanmar as well. They're deeply Buddhist, deeply religious, just temples everywhere, right? So, and you would wake up early in the morning, you'd hear music and chanting coming out of these temples. Like 5, 6 in the morning.
Right.
So I feel like that kind of like, I just got that into my, it subconsciously got burned into my psyche or something, or into my brain. And, and then
do you mind if
I went to Spain and Morocco after the pandemic, many years later. What's that?
Do you mind if we just close this thing so the...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect.
There we go. Yeah.
See our faces a bit better while you're
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. Continue.
So many years later, I went to Spain and Morocco, like just after the pandemic, actually, just after I moved here. I Went through another. I came to Montreal, and then we went through another lockdown.
Right.
So 2021, winter of 2022, and so my brother had gotten a big grant to do a short film, and I did the movie score to it, and he paid me, and I was just like, after I did that score, I was like, I'm going stir crazy here. I'm going to go to Spain and Morocco. So I went to Spain and Morocco. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I traveled through there. I studied Ganawa music with this guy in Essaouira, Morocco, on the coast. It's this beautiful, like fishing town on the coast of Morocco, like the southern coast, southwest. Well, it's the only coast, but or no, there's a north coast of Morocco too, but it was the southwest coast. And so, yeah, I ended up studying like Ganawa music, which is one of the music cultures of Morocco, with this guy named Hassan, who built me this instrument. This instrument. It's like a 3-string. And you kind of play it like this. It's probably not very good sound through the speakers here, but
I can hear it. Yeah, that's cool. Nice.
So this is like D, octave of D, and that's G, but it's weird because it's like I had to learn how to like play it like this and not move, because I'm used to playing bass like this, right?
Right.
Or guitar.
Okay, I can't. Can you lift up?
Sorry. So I'm used to playing bass like this.
Yeah.
But I had to learn how to
like flick it.
Like with and not move my finger. So play it like a stationary pick.
Oh, crazy. Cool. He said he made you that?
He did. Yes, he did. Well, he was like, I'm building one. Do you want to buy it?
Oh, okay.
When I contacted him and I was like, yeah, I want to study the gimri with you. And he's like, do you have one? And he's like, I'm building one. Do you want to buy it? And so gradually while I was studying with him, he would just sort of like work on it and tweak it while I was hanging out with him. And I still keep in touch with him, actually.
Okay.
You know, it's like, some people like you meet, like if you go to a country like that and you meet somebody and you have that kind of interaction with them, they'll remember you forever.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And it's a different kind of culture, and it's just, and I was very apprehensive of actually doing that, because of the history that goes along with that music, and it's kind of a history, a pretty brutal history actually, which has to do with like the Arab slave trade and all that, and it's anyway, I was quite apprehensive about. I knew I wanted to study that instrument and get to know it a little bit because it's like a bass. It relates to the bass. It's almost like the grandfather. A lot of people call it the grandfather of the bass. Okay. So it's like 1,000-year-old music tradition.
Wow.
So it's like, and when I hear the Ganawa music around the town, I go out and listen to these bands, these Ganawa bands playing. And some of it was fusion, some of it was with like electric guitar, some of it more traditional. I could hear Black Sabbath, I could hear Jimi Hendrix, I could hear all the blues, I could hear all the music that we grew up with.
Yeah.
But it's 1,000-year-old tradition, you know?
Wow.
And that's really why I wanted to go there specifically. I went to Morocco mostly to do that, you know?
Yeah.
Not just to travel and mess around or whatever.
Yeah.
I went there during Ramadan, so I hardly drank anything.
Right.
And I ate really healthy, cheap food.
Yeah.
And got to know the local culture a bit. And everybody's friendly. Everybody wants to invite you into their shop or home. Hey, let's have tea. And some of it's like, hey, you want to buy my,
Right. Yeah.
my stuff or whatever. But like, most of it's like really friendly. And a lot of the locals were like really kind of flattered that I took the time to like study this instrument and hang out,
Right.
So yeah, it was a really cool experience, and yes, I'm not the only person who's done that. There's many musicians who have traveled from the Western world to Morocco and absorbed the music culture, because it's such a rich music culture, and all over Africa, obviously, it's just endless,
Right.
in every single country,
Right.
Yeah. So
that's so cool. That's awesome. I love how you got stir crazy and then just went and studied something. And surely that has, it's almost like you were doing your homework for your album before maybe you even knew that you were going to write an album, or did
yes.
Like you were kind of, you were doing your studying. You were studying, and then look at how that's influenced the sound of your album. Did you include that instrument in any of the songs? No, because I don't feel like I'm like competent on it enough to really record. I could have, but on the third song called Elfina, which is about this crazy square I was in Marrakesh. It's named after that. It's actually in the video. Justin Adams, the guitarist, is playing the Ngoni, which is a smaller version of that. It's like a West African version of that. It's a smaller, higher pitched instrument, but it's a 3-string lute, like that. Oh, okay.
And so he's playing that instrument on that recording, and I thought about playing some Gabriel, and I'm like, no, just let him do that, and I'll play bass. Ended up being me playing this like really distorted bass and him playing that. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being this really, like, that's a real trance tune.
Yeah.
That's like what you hear in Morocco, minus the bass distortion and all that sort of stuff. But like, so I westernized it in that respect. It can be a little bit more rock, but really, I mean, if anything, like, I hear so much rock and roll in the trance music there.
Right.
I hear so much of that,
Interesting.
So, it's very influenced by North Africa. And Simon was a big influence on the album too, because he used to live in Morocco. I was originally supposed to go and study with him there before the pandemic, but that got canceled. So I got all my money back from that and ended up going later on. That's what happened.
Right.
Yeah. And he moved to France with his partner Mouna, and because she has family there. And I actually ended up some of the demos to some of these songs. I was recording with him in France at the studio he works out of there. So there's a community studio there in Périgueux, France, a little town that he lives in now, where some of those tunes were recorded as well. So it was recorded in England, France, and right here.
Cool.
So it's I think it's a multifaceted album. It was recorded in multiple places at different times, and it was quite chaotic and complicated to put together. But that's sort of a long story short. Yeah.
So, well, and the word, I mean, you called it Soul Caravan.
Yeah.
So the id Project and Soul Caravan. The id Project's the name of the album, and then Soul Caravan's the name of the band.
No, the other way around.
Oh,
no, the other way around. Yeah.
Okay. So
sorry if that's confusing. Yeah.
Project.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay, but well, I mean, what you decided to name it is also so, a reflection of what you just described. It's very like when I think of Caravan, I think of like it's nomadic, and it's literally what this album, like how you created it's literally what that is, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a natural nomadic person. I feel like people as humans were like originally nomadic peoples, right?
Right.
And I feel like I'm very much that. I'm very much, I tend to maybe, maybe against maybe to my detriment, I'm always thinking about moving or going somewhere,
Okay.
And I can't always do that, but I'm always, I feel like I'm kind of naturally that way. I'm a natural traveler, even as a kid, I was sort of like that. When I was 3 years old, I just like walked out my front door and got on the bus.
No. Oh my God.
By myself.
No. What?
And,
oh my gosh.
And, my parents were freaking out. But it's because I knew where the bus was because my grandma would take me on the bus.
Okay.
And I loved riding the bus with my grandma.
Okay.
So I knew where the bus stop was.
Yeah.
And so I just one day I just decided I wanted to get on the bus. So I just walked out the front door of my house, found the bus stop, got on the bus because the bus driver was on his break and the bus was empty.
Oh, okay.
So I just got on the bus, and apparently, according to my parents and the bus driver...
On the bus.
Well, no, the bus never actually... I don't think the bus left.
Oh, okay.
But he came back from his break and his coffee break or whatever and discovered me just hanging out in the back of the bus. So ever since I was a little kid, I'm just like, yeah, I just want to get the hell out of here, I mean...
That's hilarious. Yeah, as a parent, oh my God, like that's just giving me heart palpitations. I'm like,
I'm sure. Yeah, I can. Oh, I can't imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so then the bus driver was like, you need to go back home? Like, what happened?
I don't remember exactly what happened. He somehow contacted my parents. I mean, I was 3 years old, so I don't remember the whole... I do remember a little bit of it, though. Like, I do remember getting on the bus and the bus driver being like, what are you doing here? Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. That's one story that my mom likes to tell, I guess.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, yeah, everyone's got a little bit of a way of being, and clearly you've got that nomadic, that energy is more in the forefront for you. But I mean, it just lends itself to the type of music that you do, because I mean, if you're constantly wanting to head out and take in a new experience, that's perfect for the style of music that you're doing, so it's pretty cool how that works out, right? Like,
well, I mean, hopefully I can just do it as like a touring band, like a touring caravan,
Yes, 100%. I was going to ask you, like, obviously we've touched on it a little bit. You're trying to figure out the logistics of getting a band together and like touring it. But is that one of your goals, is to tour this album, right?
I would love to, if it's going to be, providing it's somewhat sustainable,
right.
And that's getting more and more difficult to do these days.
Yeah.
It's very, very costly.
Yeah.
To tour, and my friend Justin, who played on the album, he's got a pretty good name for himself, right? And in the UK and beyond, internationally, in the world music scene and in the rock scene. So, excuse me. And he came here and played a show with a duo he has with an Italian singer who also plays percussion. And he played at this place called Club Baggott, which is like the world music venue in Montreal. They have lots of African bands and Latin bands, and it's a cool little venue. And he was playing there, and he said to me, he's like, man, we're not making much money, because he was in the States previously, and they were basically renting cars and doing everything themselves, because it's a duo, right? And they were kind of like, they booked the whole tour themselves. He's like, you know what? We're not really making much money here.
Yeah.
He's like, I can make more money in France and whatever, but coming to North America and flying across here and all the touring costs involved. So, that's something I need to think about. That's something a lot of lower to mid tier musicians are struggling with right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even the higher end, I've seen some people who, like, it's becoming not affordable. So,
even the higher end. I mean, it depends on, So, you need a backing from a record company or a big grant or something like that to help that. And some musicians get that support, and I'm looking into all of that stuff, and I've applied for some festivals. I've applied for WOMAD, which is another festival associated with Real World Studios and the Real World record label that Peter Gabriel started. WOMAD is probably the biggest world music festival in the world. All kinds of music, all different cultures coming together. And that's happening twice in the UK this July.
Okay.
So I applied for that. I don't think I'm getting in this time around, but I might try and get over there and see if I can do some off-festival stuff or just kind of make connections or...
network with some people, for sure.
And there's festivals, there's... the Jazz Festival in Montreal is absolutely huge. And so I'll be planning that for the next year, the next cycle, right? Because because they already have the roster for this year. And unfortunately, I didn't get the album out in time and the video out in time to apply.
Oh, okay.
So for this year, so some of it's going to be the next year's run. There's also Mondial Montreal, which is like a world music festival here. There's Festival Nuit d'Afrique, which is like big African festival here, which is absolutely amazing. I saw... Do you know who Fela Kuti is? Mm-hmm. Yeah, West African Afrobeat pioneer. His son, Femi Kuti, played here in the summer last year in 2025.
Oh, okay.
And, sorry, I'm running out of breath here. I've been talking a lot. I'm not used to talking this much.
That's all good.
I'm usually quite quiet.
Right.
Sorry. And I saw it was like a free show here, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
It was so good. Like that it was just like the whole crowd was just in this unified trance almost.
Whoa.
There's the word trance again, and
Yes.
like it was just amazing, the energy. Like the festival scene in Montreal in the summer is just off the chain. Like it really is. Like you have to come here sometime and check it out.
I really do.
Or play here or whatever,
Yeah, book a gig. I'll have to book a gig over there and then...
Yeah. But in the summer, in the winter, it's just like... In the winter, everyone just like hibernates. And then come like May, everything just all of a sudden becomes in bloom.
Yeah.
And everyone's outside. People are playing music, like, busking in the streets. Festivals just like every couple of weeks.
Right.
Through to like the end of September.
Amazing.
Usually. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Well, I mean, it just makes sense because you guys have such intense winters. So it's like if you don't get out during when like it's not crazy outside. Like you're not going to get your cup full for the hibernate for the winter season coming up. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how that kind of creates that kind of pressure cooker for community and togetherness and creation in the summertime, like the winters, the harsh winters.
Yeah, I mean, they still have things in the winter here, but it's and people still make it out, go out to
Yeah.
shows and stuff. I remember playing a show here. I play with this funk collective here sometimes called, it's like improv funk collective called Sober is Sexy. And it's run by this guitar player I know, and he just always used different musicians, and so I'm always playing with different musicians and meeting different musicians through it. And it's really just a very communal kind of jam culture sort of thing. And that's big here, definitely.
Yeah.
And I remember we were playing this bar one time. I remember going outside during the set break, and people weren't even wearing jackets. It was like minus 20 out.
Oh my God.
People like smoking and just like dressed like me, like right now. They're just used to it, right?
Wow, that's next level.
Yeah.
It's like minus 11 here, and I'm like, oh, it's so cold.
But eventually you acclimatize to the, it's like when I was in Southeast Asia for a couple of months. It was super hot and humid at first. It was awful, and then you just get used to it. You get used to just walking out of your door every day and sweating, or walking out and freezing. I guess the upside to it is like it's sunny more here than it is on the West Coast.
Right. Yeah.
So that's sort of the upside to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever want to come out here to Vancouver, if you ever end up booking something out here, like, that you have a place to stay and, a friend to reach out to. So
thank you.
If you ever end up coming out this way. So yeah, I mean, it's just...
I think I am coming out in April. I don't think I'll be playing any shows, but I'll be just visiting family and friends and stuff. I usually stay in my mom's basement, but we could maybe connect.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Please reach out when you're here. That would be great. So to kind of wrap things up, I mean, you're also teaching music. I
teach bass on and off. On and off. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's consistent work.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly. But
and so you said you're going to apply for some of these festivals like for next year, and you've applied for some of them in the UK, but like what else is coming up here in the summertime? Like, do you have any plans right now or anything?
It's all nothing is really set in stone yet.
Okay. Are you playing with any projects locally? Like
just that funk collective, and sometimes I play with the singer-songwriter who is here, I just played my first gig with her in the summer. It was like Leonard Cohen, some of her songs, and like a bunch of Leonard Cohen songs. Okay. Leonard Cohen, who's from Montreal. Yeah. Originally. Nice. Okay. There's a big mural of Leonard Cohen on one of the buildings here. Yeah. Near the art gallery. It's like this huge mural of him.
Okay.
It's like on this like really tall apartment building, and it's like if you go up to the top of Mount Royal, like the lookout, you can see Leonard Cohen just like standing out in all of those skyscrapers. Anyways, so I do play with people. I just do occasional pickup gigs, but it's not like it was, before the pandemic and in Vancouver. It's just different, and I'm newer here, and I have a couple of gigs that are just sort of pending, but I'm not really sure. Like, people are like, I'd love to play with you, and do you want to sub in for this band? But nothing is set in stone,
right?
So yeah.
Well, things are always kind of moving around when you're a support player in a project that's not your own. So yeah, you are kind of at the whim of what other people decide, I guess. So kind of part of the what you sign up for. So.
Well, it's just been a little bit of a shift since I moved here and during the pandemic and everything, towards me really realizing my compositions and
right,
and creating original music.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a shift from most of the things I've done in Vancouver has been to do with me being a bass player. And then it was sort of just like a gradual shift, like going to school, finishing my degree in composition. And I feel like and even joining Mudfunk played a role in that because, I was studying composition at the time, but I was also being kept up to date about what's going on as I got older, because you guys were like, maybe 10 years younger than me or whatever, and you were listening to some different music than me that I'd never heard. And so you exposed me to some newer artists, and also being in school and playing and studying with younger people who are like 20 years younger than me in some cases, right? Like Gen Z. I sort of like got to know what they were listening to.
Right.
And what the latest thing was. And I also discovered that they liked a lot of the bands that I liked too growing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, this bass player, this young bass player, he's into Rush? Really? Right. He likes Rush, He likes Geddy Lee, he's like favorite bass player is Geddy Lee, and he's got this Rickenbacker bass like Geddy Lee had in the 70s, and he's like grown his hair like Geddy Lee. So funny.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, cool. So it's just been kind of like a gradual kind of move towards me more concentrating on my own stuff. I'm also trying to now I'm also putting together a demo reel for film scoring, because I've done a little bit of that,
right,
but not really enough for me to be a commercial film scorer. But I've got a lot of that kind of music too, and I feel like some of the music I've even done with the IT Project could be potentially like soundtrack stuff as well,
Oh, for sure.
So there's like the Logic sessions that I showed you, I've got so much stuff like that's unfinished.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then absolutely. Yes. I mean,
so
it's I was talking with one of my other guests about how it's just really smart to be multidisciplinary in this industry, and
absolutely,
you have to be, right, unless you are part of one band that makes it and you can survive off of that. But I mean, like you say, for the low middle class musician, you kind of have to wear a lot of hats to survive. And
absolutely.
So and but I mean, it can be fun because it's a lot of stuff that you enjoy doing, and it all ties in together. So like, it works out. So
by the way, I listened to your new song on YouTube.
Oh, which one was that? The Let Love In song.
Let Love In, yes. Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
That sounds great, actually. It's well arranged and well produced. It's great, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, that was done at a Monarch Studios. And
I recorded there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Had hired Tom and Alex Penny, or Tom Dobransky and Alex Penny. They worked on it together. And I had a couple producers on it, and
cool.
And it was a lot of fun putting that all together. There were so many different parts, hired string players, piano player, there was a lot of sounds on that song. But
it's awesome. It's very well arranged and produce. It sounds good. It sounds really great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. I composed that song entirely on my own.
Cool.
Like they didn't really mess with the arrangement. Like the arrangement was good, just as it was.
So did you mock the string parts in a DAW, a digital audio workstation, or did you like that kind of thing? Or
as far as like those parts, like I wrote the lyrics and the main melodies, but as far as all the other parts, like they would just come into the studio and they would come up with parts.
And they played all the instruments, or the rest of the instruments, or
yeah, like there was a cello player, a violin player, and then there was a piano player, a guitar player that came in, and of course drums and bass, and then I did the guitar.
Cool.
Like the rhythm guitar anyways. The lead guitar was done by somebody else. But yeah.
Anybody I know? I thought maybe.
Oh yeah, I bet you would know most of the people. So Jonah and Amin were the string players.
Yep. I know Jonah anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, Winston Matsushita was on the piano.
Okay.
And Trevor Ainsworth was on the drums.
Okay.
And Rob Thomas on the bass. And Larissa was on the backup vocal, and Siobhan Walsh was on the backup vocal as well.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Well,
a few of those people sound I know, and then there's a few of them that sound familiar. So yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, no, it was good. It was fun. Thanks for listening to it. I feel like I released that on YouTube, and then I haven't really done much else with it. And I'm just now I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I gotta like push that song out. I probably need to like put it on all streaming platforms. I was kind of in, I was on the fence because of the whole streaming platform, like business, and the business model, and do I really want to keep releasing my music on there? And so that's why I never did. So
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. I still have some things that song I don't feel like has had the push that it deserves, because I really haven't pushed it out to many places yet. So
but I mean, YouTube is potentially a good place. I feel like YouTube and Instagram are still good, and they're still serving real human artists, because people can obviously see that it's a real human artist behind it.
Yeah.
Whereas the streaming platforms, it's like Spotify's like 40% AI.
Really?
Bands now are and artists, 40%.
40%?
Yeah. Hundreds of thousands of AI tunes are being uploaded to these streaming platforms per day.
Wow. That's
crazy. So it just makes me think, and I did do a post about it on Facebook, but posting on Facebook these days it's not really very effective, but it was sort of reacting to a Rick Beato video. Rick Beato, who's a music educator on YouTube, and he was talking about that, and I was just kind of reacting to it, and I was just saying, like, well, is the streaming platforms even going to be relevant to us human artists, in the coming years, because people aren't going to be able to tell who's behind it, because they're not labeling the AI artists as AI artists. So that's where YouTube and Instagram and TikTok can potentially help us, save us.
Right.
So I feel like it's almost pointless for me to have my music on there, because it's like every time I upload something to Spotify or Apple Music, they ask me what genre it is. I'm like, well, I don't know. It's world, it's rock. I mean, this time I put rock because it's pretty rock oriented, but at the same time, it's like, it's all over the place. So it's
fusion. Yeah,
it's fusion. So it's like, but then it's not jazz fusion. So fusion, when a lot of people, when they think of fusion, they think of 70s jazz fusion. So it's like
alternative jazz fusion.
I would like to say tribal atmospheric or like atmospheric tribal, but it's like that isn't a category. So so it's like that, and that's why I feel like, YouTube's better, because you can just, if you want, you don't even have to use YouTube Music, the streaming audio portion of it. You can just have your YouTube channel, and then if you have a subscription to YouTube, you have more tools to work with, and you can just create a whole album on there if you want.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And just have like one video be your whole album and create visuals to it, or it's like your band live in the studio or something, or whatever. So I don't know. I think that's where I listen to your songs, on YouTube.
Right.
Because I don't think I can find it anywhere else. And I listened to it today. Because you added me on, I think your other page, you added me on Instagram to like your personal page. Yeah. And then so I just went to your YouTube and listened to that today. Yeah. So
no,
anyway.
Thanks for doing that. And lots to do there still. And yeah, I mean, we're just in such a transitionary space with everything going on in the world and music and everything. It's kind of hard to know, like, what's the right move for yourself, but everyone's going to make their own decisions based upon how they feel about things, right? And where their values align.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's been so nice to chat with you and
you
chat
too.
with you about this album. Like, I'm not, I don't listen to a lot of world music, but this album really is, I can appreciate it so much. Like, I can appreciate the artistry, the compositions, and I was moved by it. I really was, truly. Like, that second song
Thank you.
on there is just, it just drew me in. I can't remember what it was called. What is it, Alfina or
Well, there's basically on the album it's divided into two songs, but on the video on the YouTube it's Modern Man and Alfina in one video, and we kind of decided to do that just as like a real live kind of to keep that live in the studio vibe, where Justin puts down his guitar and he switches instruments to the Ngoni, the 3-string lute he's playing, and then we just go into that song.
That song is so cool, and as long with all the other tracks, it's so original, it's so unique, and it's so you, and that's just really
Thanks.
That's really in this album. So thanks so much for coming on here and wanting to talk about it. And it's been nice to chat about, the Mud Funk days. And I wish you all the best on this project. And I really hope that more and more people get to listen to it, because it needs to be out there in more people's ears. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on. It was great to see you and and talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, and I really appreciate your thoughts on my album and listening to it, and I really appreciate anybody taking the time to listen to the music, because it's really a hard thing to get people to do these days, because there's so many distractions and people are so busy, and there's so many people putting out music on the internet these days. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a good day. Thanks, you too, Adriana. Okay, bye-bye. See you soon. Bye.